Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
It's a great moment for America, right?
Absolutely. Didn't one of the guys get his grill busted?
Yeah, he got his teeth all mocked up. Yeah, because he lost some teeth and they had his dentist on and all that stuff. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Wednesday show. I know we're on a little bit earlier, but we said, after we'll start early.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Why are we waiting, right? So the big news of the day is the State of the Union, right? State of the Union. Number one, listen, all you my Trump-loving people out there, which is a lot of you, why does he have to make the damn thing like 4 hours long? Like, I felt like that thing was forever yesterday.
If I'm going to address the union, it's like going to church. We're going to stay here a while. You're going to hear what I got to say, okay? You come to hear the word, you're going to hear all the words, all the best words, okay? All of them.
Yeah, it just seems so long. And it just was like, wow, it just kept going on. But again, I think it was, what do you think about the Democrats boycotting it? Like 70 Democrats didn't show up.
Yeah, there was quite a few that said that, yeah, I'm not participating. You know what? Hey, some people stay home during church too. It's fine. But I honestly prefer that than some of the ones that just showed out. And you know which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we get it. You gotta pander to your base or something, whatever. But it's just okay. Just don't go.
They started to turn into like the English Parliament where they all yell at each other in the House of Commons. Because don't forget, and people are pearl clutching now but remember back when Biden was president and it was, what's her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene screaming at him.
Oh,
and all
yeah,
that stuff.
call him out. Yeah,
like,
it's becoming a circus more slowly but surely.
And I think people love to have that hatred for the other side.
Yeah.
But today we're gonna go over, because what I did was we took all the stuff that people were saying and said, okay, let's see if we can just figure it out. Just not even fact check, but seeing what people are saying about the speech. So obviously, for me, it was just too long. I don't care what anybody says. It was just too long, and it seemed like he broke. Because don't forget, Trump had the record for the longest speech before this, and then he broke it last night. So he got to another level. So.
Likes to hear himself talk.
That's true.
Who doesn't?
Today. So, matter of fact, let me give you guys a rundown for the day. Today we're going to go over the State of the Union, look to see what's going on with that. Then we're going to go and look at the Rashad Ritchie. We have PhD Investigates and Johnny Walker Black. They're coming on to tell us the updates with the Rashad Ritchie issue. And then we're going to go into the madness of conspiracy theories with Candace Owens. Now,
yes,
the thing about Candace Owens was kind of crazy is that Alex Jones is the biggest conspiracy theorist on the planet.
Easily.
And when he tells you, he's like, yo, you may need to fact check that because that's a little conspiratorial.
I don't know. We're going to go that far. Right?
He went that far. He said she's crazy. So, yeah.
You got to slow down. But Alex Jones is like, wait a minute. We got to think about this. Come on, Candace.
Yeah, he owes $1 billion. So. Let's start with the first. So here it is. The first clip is the economic turnaround in historical context. This is what Trump said last night at the State of the Union. I'm going to be sharing this right now so we can all see it. Hold on. StreamYard does this all the time, where if you share something,
it cuts the audio.
It cuts the audio, but then you got to redo it. So sorry, people. It's technical difficulties with StreamYard, but
it's okay. They're just trying to shut you down, Nate. That's all it is. We know it.
The frogs are going to be gay. Here we go.
Back to the fucking frogs, gay. I read that study that he referenced, right?
But isn't it true? Like there are some chemicals that could turn the frogs.
Yeah. Well, they're hermaphroditic. They're both, and then there's certain chemical signals that'll turn them to male or female. And so he just said they're just making the freaking frogs gay.
I'm taking a dump right now. Ricardo sucks. Oh my God. You're trying to get us salty already. All right, here we go.
Thank you. Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
So, economy's good. Economy's good.
That's subjective.
Gas prices is down. People's tariffs are subjective. What do you think?
Subjective. I think that's subjective. Look, we can empirically say, hey, from this point to this point, here's gas prices. From this point to this point, here's GDP. That's what I care about. Anybody can say, yeah, things are good. They're good for you, but are they good for most people? Like, what does that mean if you don't qualify it? You know what I mean?
Well, I think what you see now is that he's a showman. He's a politician, right?
Yeah.
And they gotta say it's the greatest ever, the greatest ever. It's like whenever anybody's selling you something, right? They use that puffery. We call it puffery in the law, where you say this is the greatest car ever. That doesn't mean it's the actual greatest car ever. That just means it's good. Yeah, it's good. It could be better, but it's okay. So that's what we're talking about. We talk about the greatest car ever, but that's not what it. I don't think that's kind of Trump's selling point. And if you're a New York salesman, you talk fast and you do that type of stuff. So when he says something like the gas, we were talking earlier about the gas being under $2, right?
I was looking for that. I need that.
It was like, but in Texas, I've seen spots where the gas is like $1.90, $1.95.
Yeah, there's some Valeros on.
It's gotten down some. Yeah. But most of the time, it's like now about $2.30,
$2.49. Yeah.
And I know for a fact, if you're in New York or in California, you ain't paying $2 for gas. You're paying like $5 to $10. It's like crazy up
easily.
There. So, but here is now. Obviously, we like to see what everyone says. So here is Rachel Maddow talking about her view of the economy. I know you guys are going to be probably upset about this, but we like to hear from both sides. What is she saying?
The very beginning of the speech, he talked about having inherited the worst inflation in the history of the country, completely ignoring the worst inflation in the history of the country was in the 1980s and the 1920s. He then talked about gas prices and misstated them dramatically. Gas prices on average are like $2.94 a gallon. He was talking about $1.85 a gallon gas. He then talked about his miraculous and best ever in the history of the country job creation. Just for context, in 2023 under Joe Biden, the economy created over 2 million jobs.
Now, just to be fair, when she says, and Biden created all those jobs and that was what they called the pandemic rebound. Because remember in the pandemic, they had to let all those people go so they can.
Oh, we had this. It was a shut. There was soft shutdown.
It was a soft, well, yeah, but you couldn't work in restaurants, so a lot of people were fired. But then when the pandemic was over, all those people were rehired. So that gave you all those great job numbers. And I think another thing people forget is that the job numbers for the next year, 2024, they had to reduce them by 1 million jobs because Biden and his administration had overinflated the jobs numbers. So when they redid it, they found there was 1 million less jobs than Biden was letting on.
But can you
so
really,
they're actually losing jobs?
Can you count if the jobs were already there, but they were put on like I guess you could say a moratorium, essentially. Can you say that they were created, or did you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the argument. Those jobs weren't really created; they were just kind of recuperated after the loss, and now they're back. And now you come back to them. So, but again, I think Rachel, and again, this MSNBC, I think no matter what Trump is going to say, they're going to find some fault.
Oh yeah,
and I do think they got some quick hits here. The average gas is about $2.80, $2.90. All right, you're saying it's $1 less. That's misleading at best, right? Or just a lie at most.
Right.
But I would say that's puffery. Like I would consider that to be puffery.
And
right?
you kind of expect like that's part of Trump's MO, right?
Yeah.
He's going to use a lot of hyperbole.
The greatest ever.
2024 under Joe Biden, the economy created over 2 million jobs. 2025 under Donald Trump, job creation was less than 200,000 jobs. It's just a wild misstatement by the president. Also, in general, talking about the health of the economy, talked about having inherited the worst economy in the history of the country and turned it into the best. Economic growth, GDP growth in 2023 was 2.9% under Joe Biden. 2024 it was 2.8% under Joe Biden. Last year, under Donald Trump, it was 2.2%. So again, just it's sort of rushing through these statements. He was bragging about grocery prices, food prices. Inflation there is actually up 2.9% over general inflation at 2.5%. Grocery inflation is up this year compared to last year. The president,
go ahead.
No, I just, if you're going to do this, right? If you're just going to throw numbers at people, at least have like a graph up. Because no one's really listening to this. Let's be honest. Like she can, like the people like visual, you know. Yeah,
180.99. Well, we know there were places. Like I told you, it was like 195 here at one point in time, 279 in Maryland. That's because you guys got high taxes,
rain tax.
So the one thing though, I do appreciate about that is that what they seem to be trying to do is you fight on these little bullshit margins. Like it's BS. It's BS. It's $2.50 versus $2.39. It's like nobody really cares about that. We care about the overall economy. Now I think that's where Trump is weakest at. I'm going to just tell you people straight up. Trump is weakest on the economy. The economy right now sucks. Most Americans feel it. The prices are too high. Jobs are not plentiful. Things aren't going that
great. A lot of layoffs.
Now, and I understand he's got to go sell it because he's got to, you got to kind of make people feel like things are good. But people's spot, and this is the same thing I think the Democrats had the problem with the Democrats when they were running for president and trying to get Joe Biden back in and then Kamala. They were trying to make it seem like everything was okay, right? Everything is fine, the best economy ever, but
people weren't feeling that.
Your pockets weren't feeling that, right? It's like, this thing is
because if that was true, right, they would have been able to sell Kamala on. You would have been able to sell her platform,
of
right?
course.
But there was nothing to place her on.
You had the illegal
say,
immigration problem. You got this. It was too much all at one time. Yeah. And now you start to see the fruits of that labor. Look at New York. $12 billion budget deficit because they were paying for illegal migrants. Then you got Chicago, $600 million. They're trying to raise taxes enough to pay for illegal migrants. So you have a lot of this happening, and that's the problem. It's just that bad policies don't manifest themselves immediately.
Yeah,
they usually takes time, and that's what you're seeing, like in New York, Chicago. Those bad policies manifest themselves over time
because all that pandering didn't turn out to people having a prosperous life.
Yeah,
right. And I think that's something that people are really starting to see. I mean, I get it. Hey, let's nitpick Trump. Let's try to kill him with a thousand cuts. But overall, people really don't care. They'll overlook, hey, you know what? He's exaggerating. Great. But my pockets are good. My gas is lower. That's what people really feel on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And I think that's where he's losing because all the polls, so there are two pollsters who I trust the most. Rich Barris, who's a right-wing lunatic pollster, but he's gotten it right for the past 5 elections. Matter of fact, his polls were better than any of the other polls in the country. Last election and election before that. He is the top pollster in the country. And he is predicting a slaughter for Republicans.
Really?
He's predicting a total slaughter for Republicans. So Rich Barris, I'm going to have him on and he's going to talk about, but he's predicting a slaughter for Republicans based on his polling that he's seeing now. And now things can change, but if his predictions are right, Democrats are gonna kill it. Democrats are gonna kill it.
Are you telling me Texas is gonna turn blue? Is that what you're telling me here?
I'm telling you, it's extremely competitive. Jasmine Crockett in a one-on-one race against the people on either Cornyn or the other guy who's running, Paxton. It's a toss-up race in Texas.
I actually had a conversation with somebody about that just the other day. There's the populist wing versus the traditionalist wing. Here for our GOP, they're fighting. People like Michael Berry's weighing in on it, and so that Paxton versus Cornyn, that's a hell of a fight. But I don't know how many people are really. I mean, of course, if you're a black woman, you're going to support Crockett no matter what she does. But so for everybody else, the real battleground is between Cornyn and Paxton.
Yeah. Well, even there, Cornyn's not that popular. Paxton, he's got his whole bunch of issues.
Yeah.
And what's her name is coming in on essentially a blue wave. So if if it's vulnerable, it's going to be vulnerable this year.
Yeah.
Trump is vulnerable, the Republicans are vulnerable, and that seat is vulnerable based on all the numbers now. But we'll see how it plays out, because something that happened now is, we're still 8 months away from the election, so we got time.
Yeah.
For Trump and his team to turn it around. I think the tariffs are going to help big, though. Because if they have to refund those tariffs, that's going to be a real push to the economy.
Because the Supreme Court just hit him big on that. It's like, no. But he's fighting that. He's appealing it, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's appealing it.
But all those companies get all that money back. They can hire more people. They can do billions and billions of dollars are going to go. These $120 billion.
Because I think he was trying to take some of that tariff money and then distribute it to folks.
He was trying to flip it. Yeah. But the thing is that now if they're illegal, they got to be put back. But overall, I'll say this: the State of the Union, I think, accomplished what it accomplished. If you're a Trump supporter, it helped motivate you to be rah rah rah. If you're against Trump, it helped motivate you to say he's a bad guy. This is just more of the same.
Self-aggrandizing guy.
There's really nothing in here that was going to change anyone's mind.
No, not at all.
Based on what it is. But let us know how you guys feel. Do you guys feel it was great? Do you guys feel it sucks? Who really knows, right? But I'll say this: hopefully, Trump. This is 1 year in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have to understand he's only been in there for a year. Things weren't good under Biden. Let's not pretend. There's a reason why they kicked Biden out, or Democrats. Things weren't good. So coming into it and having to fix things up, you got to give a little room. I understand a year, but I think now people now want some results. I voted. We got to have some results. And if Trump's results start happening in the summer, going in, that will help. But until then, I think they're in trouble big time. Yeah,
a lot of what Trump has to do now is trying to undo what Biden had done for years, especially when it comes to allowing massive amounts of people across the border. He has to clean that up first, and then try and gain some momentum on the things that he actually wanted to do, like with the tariffs. And I'm sure he had other plans, because trust me, I heard about them. What was it, the Plan 2025, or what was it, the project?
He said that wasn't him, but it wasn't. There was one other thing. Even with Trump, because it's not all good with actually, I think it's a lot bad. I think with Trump, but I think the problem that he's running into is that he's now got to perform. People need to see results. We see a lot of things working, but we don't see the results. The results aren't hitting your pocket. The results aren't hitting the prices on groceries. Those results need to start hitting the American people. And he's saying it like, hey, gas is cheap, blah, blah, blah. But if you're not feeling it, then all that means nothing, right? It's not about what they say, it's about how you feel. And people vote their pockets. And right now, their pockets are hurting.
You're telling me there's a lot of rhetoric going on? There's a lot of rhetoric?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a big buck. All right. So now we're going to shift from our positions on the
State of the Union.
The State of the Union.
Yeah,
we have our two guests have arrived, and you guys know we did this whole thing about Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Rashad Ritchie, right? Rashad Ritchie. So, just so everybody understands, Rashad Ritchie, I don't even know if I want to say the word.
He has ED.
No, he does have ED. The F word. Fraud, right? I don't know if I want to say he's a fraud.
Really?
Because he is, but it's like
allegedly he's a fraud. Allegedly. We got to be lawyerly like.
I don't even know if allegedly is even saying it right, because I don't think a lot of the stuff is alleged. I think it's just
supposedly.
Like, he's got a JD from a school that doesn't offer JDs. Like, how is that not just straight up that, right?
It's JD Light.
Well, what I want to do is we're going to introduce you to the guys who actually did the work. So a lot of the research and stuff that we did, I got from these two gentlemen, fake PhD investigator who is fantastic. I don't know how this guy finds all this stuff. This guy's like amazing. You got to check out his channel. This guy and his Substack, and he's got it. He knows how to look for this stuff. And Johnny Walker Dredd. Johnny Walker Dredd has like thousands of videos on this, and every single, if you want to know the fine details, this is where you go to Johnny Walker Dredd. So I wanted to invite them on so you guys can actually hear from the people who've actually done the work and give them a little promotion too. So without any further ado, this is Johnny Walker and Fake PhD. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
How you
How's
doing?
everything? I'm good. We're just finding more information about Rashad Ritchie, I guess.
Hold on. I think somebody has an echo. Let me make sure it's not us. Do you
Test,
hear it?
test.
Yeah. So it's not us anymore. All right. Somebody's echoing. All right. Test.
Okay. Are we better?
All right. I'm gonna turn Johnny off first to see. All right.
Test.
So right now you're not fake PhD. You're good. So Johnny, I'm turning you back on.
Or
All
can,
right. Do you have headphones?
oh, you know what? I can get some, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that really echoing bad?
Do you hear it, fake PhD?
I can hear an echo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When
Well, then
I mute you, there's no echo. But when I unmute you, that's when we have
all
the
right.
echo.
Is that any better?
Oh,
Test.
Okay. How's it sounding now?
It's better. It's less of an
Okay.
echo.
I'll back this thing up a little bit here.
All right. Cool. All right, guys. So let's talk about so I sent you guys the questions that we had earlier. So the first thing I want to know is what got you guys into looking into Rashad Ritchie and this particular issue? Like what oh, I'm sorry, yeah, the echo, you still have the echo.
It's still there, huh? Okay, let me go ahead and
get the,
you know what? Why don't you go ahead and take over, fake PhD?
All right, cool.
Okay.
And we'll come right back to you. Go ahead, fake PhD.
Yeah, what got us? So I generally have a knack for finding out fake degrees, and that all started with a friend of a family member who claimed a fake PhD for a long time and being in a very prominent position. I found that out. Then I just kept looking. I kept looking for fake PhDs, and at some point, somewhere on Twitter, somebody mentioned that Rashad Ritchie isn't fully legit. So I started looking into it, and sure enough, it's very easy to find out. I mean, this thing isn't hard because he claims so many fake degrees that it's just you can just keep looking and looking, and everything that he touches is some type of lie, some type of fraud, some type of exaggeration of some sort or the other. And also the people he associates with are the same type of people. So it's just very interesting to keep investigating this type of environment.
Yeah, because that's what we do. We're
Yes.
big on the expose the frauds here. And we've been doing this for how many years? We've been doing this for a long
almost
time.
decade.
Yeah, for a
I think
while.
it's been a decade.
But one of the questions I always like to ask is, what were the red flags that really tipped you off to Richie's?
So the red
issues?
flags are the diploma mills. He's got, he's going to these third world countries with unstable governments to get academic degrees. Why, right? There's no reason, if you're academically qualified, to even go outside of the United States. There are, low quality colleges that are fully accredited right here in the United States. So going outside of the US, Cambodia, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, why, right? This is a big red flag. And he associated with this one guy, John Kerry or something like that, who's really, he's really into fake degrees. He's claimed 72 different academic titles himself. So, this type of environment that Rashad, surrounds himself with, and that guy has a fake university, the European American University, some Catholic religious school run out of Florida, and Rashad claims 2 or 3 degrees from there. So this entire environment of just low quality fake academic titles, and I'm not afraid to say it. You might be careful. But Rashad Ritchie is a fraud. He's claiming so many things. And what I found personally really interesting is that there's really no news articles written about Rashad Ritchie. But if you Google him, there are a whole bunch of news articles. These are all either press releases from himself or from his own companies, things that he pays for. He really has this knack and this need to get this acknowledgement, or this false acknowledgement from supposedly outside entities. What's really interesting, and I think this is what Johnny Walker Dread wanted to talk about, is his miracle year 2023.
Oh yeah. No, that's on the we sent you the show notes. That's definitely the next. I was waiting for him to get back because he said he was going to get some earphones.
Okay, well we'll wait for him.
That's going to be great. But you had a question, right?
Yeah, no. So yeah, I wanted to make the guy that you were talking about with the he's based out of Florida. The guy, he's notorious for the diploma mills.
Right.
I want to make sure it was the same guy, but I don't imagine that there's a whole lot of people doing this, right? Is it a small sphere that the same names, or how prevalent do you think it is?
So there's a whole economy of these low quality colleges that aren't accredited. They just aren't. In Florida, of course, you can you don't need accreditation if you're a religious school. You can operate and be registered with the state of Florida. And so they use that as sort of a proxy accreditation that, hey, we're registered in Florida, right? Registration sometimes conflated for accreditation, which it isn't, but that's how they like to do it. And I think what we want to touch on really here today is, Rashad Ritchie has these academic degrees. He's got the EDD from Clark Atlanta. He's got the 2 Beulah Heights degrees that nobody's questioning, but we are questioning them.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, now we got Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker's back. Can you hear us? We all good?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just turn down your sound while I'm speaking. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can. We can
okay,
hear you.
So I did send you 3 really short clips on your DM in Twitter. So if you want to play one of those, you can. And I'm going to step away here for a moment.
Sure. Okay. So I'm looking at the DMs and looking for those clips.
So while you find that, so one of the things that me and Nate said, the bachelor's degree looked fairly legit from Beulah. How do you say Beulah?
Beulah, yeah.
Beulah, okay, Beulah, got it. So that it seemed legit, but what are you guys are saying now that's even we're contesting that?
Well, we're about to look at it right now. Let's take a look at it.
I was trying to root for him.
Well, hey, I've been called racist because I said the degree was they called me racist. They're like, you're a racist guy. I'm like, well, I'm racist against them.
Yeah.
So I can just imagine, and then poor Johnny Walker Dread, you wearing a red hat in one of the videos, and all of a sudden you become ultra mad. Oh, he got a red hat on. I'm like, oh my God, really?
Red hat theory.
Well, let me play this clip. Johnny, tell us what this clip is about.
Sure. Well, just go ahead and play it. It's about the Beulah Heights dealio. I think that it's pretty self-explanatory, but remember, he claims he got a bachelor's degree and a master's from Beulah Heights, and this is kind of about the university.
All right.
Worse. It always gets worse with Rashad, because a few months ago, Rashad appeared on BHU's website as the department chair of its applied physics program, even though BHU admitted in email correspondence that it had no such department.
I'm the department chairman of applied physics and health sciences and professor of physics at Beulah Heights University.
Let's go back to the university website, and guess what? Lo and behold, look who's on it, Rashad Ritchie. And he has quite the credentials, a PhD that he doesn't really have, an EDD that's centered on a dissertation that was the stupidest thing I've ever read beside his book, a JD that he doesn't really have, and an MBA from Beulah Heights that he might have, but after this video will be rendered of dubious value. And it says here, Department Chair and Professor, Applied Physics and Health Sciences.
BHU has no business hosting physics courses, never mind a physics department. So I was a bit pleased when an email crossed my desk, blowing the whistle on Rashad's phony chairmanship.
Dear Dr. Chippendale, as reflected in the university's official catalog, Beulah Heights University does not maintain a Department of Applied Physics.
Damn. Hey, how are you? What? They don't have a department of the housing achievement. What the hell's going on?
It's a religious university. Why would they have an applied physics department?
Metaphysics. Johnny, every time you look into any of these things, you find more and more crap. Well, first, I want to ask you the same thing I asked fake PhD. What got you into this? What were the red flags that you said, hold on, something is wrong here? Because you've been covering this, I think, longer than any of us.
Well, I mean, I started out with the Kyle Rittenhouse dealio, and I have over 400 videos on Kyle, including interviews of Grambo and Dominic Black and his mom and sisters. So if you're interested in that, you need to go to my channel. But I was watching this, and I got into sort of the race hustling thing, which I really despise. And then after watching Rashad, and he's calling himself doctor, I thought, people who call themselves doctor are sometimes a little dicey. And then I thought, this guy can't possibly be smart enough to get a real doctorate. And so I looked into it, picked up his dissertation at not Beulah Heights, but at Clark Atlanta, and read it. And I have the next clip I DM'd you is about the bibliography, a very short one, it's like 2 minutes. It is seventh grade material. And if you play it, you'll see why. But at any rate, that's what got me started on it. And then with Rashad, you just can't stop because he keeps lying, he keeps creating fake degrees. And at some point, I couldn't even keep up. I could not push out content fast enough to keep up with all the fakery.
So after all your research, are we talking, because again, this is because I don't want to get sued, but after all your research, are we talking about resume exaggeration, or are we talking about someone willfully trying to deceive the public about their qualifications?
Well, I mean, he's got, for example, he claimed on LinkedIn, I don't have it in this video, but he claimed on LinkedIn that he had a Master of Science from École Supérieure Américaine. It's on his LinkedIn page. He pulled it off of there, but in one of his most recent interviews, he talked about how he had to get a master's at Renaissance to get into the PhD program at Paris Graduate School. He forgot that he had already claimed a Master of Science in Physics from a Costa Rican university. So you tell me.
What? This guy is crazy. It's insane. You know what? Let's not even hide the ball anymore. Let's get to the miracle year. We all call the miracle year 2023. Now, number one, I'm going to throw it to you, fake PhD. Is it, just give us a ballpark. Is it possible for Rashad Ritchie to do what he claimed he did in 2023? Like 5.
Well, just look at how many hours do you have in a week? I think 186. To get all of these degrees that he's had, a reasonable person would have to spend over 200 hours a week doing all of that. I love the miracle year, just pointing everything out, because it's so impossible that he could have done any of this. It's so absurd. I think we should just look at the video that Johnny Walker Dredd here has prepared. It's just, it's laughable. It's really entertaining. And I think that's what kind of keeps us on this story. It's entertaining, right? This guy can't possibly be serious, but he is.
And by the way, I was not able to produce that video in short period of time here because we had less time than I thought. But he claims, I think, 5 master's degrees, a PhD. And while he is doing that, he's simultaneously a chair of a department, the director of a medical institute. He's the president of his own university, and he's also a professor and director at Morgan State. He's doing all those simultaneously. Plus, he's also at WAOK. He's on Indisputable. He's got full-time jobs. So, I mean, is it possible? No, it's not possible. A PhD in physics alone will chew up every minute you've got. Yeah. And you can do a full-time job and get a PhD in physics, but it's murder. And there's no way that you could not be working on other degrees at the same time. It's not possible.
Let me see. In that miracle year, this is what we had. We had, and again, there's probably going to be more, but we had, he got a law degree, right? Then he got a master's of law. This is all in the same year, people. Then he got a neuroscience degree. Then he got an applied physics degree, a master's in applied physics from Paris Graduate School too, and then he got cognitive psychology from Singapore. So this is a short list. There are more that he got in 2023, but this is a short list. And I'll say it's almost impossible for somebody to get 2 of these degrees in the same year, let alone
in
6.
different countries.
Yeah, because we're talking about he's all around the world. One thing I do want to ask you guys is that his employer, the Young Turks, obviously has to know that these degrees this is fake, right? Why do you think they continue to employ him in this role? Because they employ him in this role as Black excellence, as someone who is supposed to be an example to the Black community. But to know that he's got all these fake degrees, like, is this, to me personally, and this is me speaking as a Black man, it almost is like they're saying, this is what we really think of you. We're going to put this fraud up, and we really think that you guys are this piece of trash. Instead of saying, hey, we can get somebody legitimate to be here with legitimate degrees to do this. We're going to get a fraud because we really think that you guys are all frauds anyway. This is the best we can do.
There's a problem with that. There's a big problem with that, Nate. And I feel you on that. I absolutely feel you. As a Black man, I feel you. But the issue is that when you have Black men that are educated, they're not going to repeat the stuff that you hear on the Young Turks.
That's true. That's true.
But Rashad Ritchie will. He 100% will. He'll lie and say whatever he needs to say, and that's what's valuable. He has the gravitas that they want, and then he has the questionable morals that they also want. So I think he's a perfect candidate for the channel.
I really think that really puts, that kind of distills it down to what the issue is, why they keep him. They want the low quality content, and they want somebody who's, credible on the surface if you don't look too far into him.
And they literally have Schofield Graduate School with his quantitative, and they still have the fake stuff on his bio of TYT. They have not even changed it. They literally have it. This to me, this has now become a willful that TYT is holding someone out. I wouldn't even understand if they just took all of these lies off of here. But this Schofield Graduate stuff is an obvious lie, right? Am I being too politically correct with that, Johnny? Like, Schofield Graduate's a lie, no?
Actually, I think that fake PhD investigator probably has more research on that than I do. I'll go ahead and let him.
Go ahead, Fake.
Schofield, yes. So Schofield is just, it doesn't really exist anymore. It was a one-man show run by another conservative Christian, and it's, it never really existed except on a website, essentially. And that guy, and the degree that Rashad Ritchie claims from it is, the dissertation looks like it's written by that guy that runs the school and not by Rashad Ritchie, unless Rashad Ritchie is extremely conservative. And that's another crux. Rashad has all these religious degrees, right? He's such a religious man, but he doesn't know. Ask him if, Book of Matthew, Old Testament or New Testament, he will have no idea. He can't argue anything. In the same, his BA from Beulah Heights in religious studies, you're supposed to be defending a conservative religious issue and defend the Bible against all naysayers. Is he doing that? Does he ever mention the Bible? Does he ever mention anything religious? He doesn't have these degrees. It's bogus.
Good.
And I would also say that, I don't think that he's read his dissertation from Schofield. Well, keep in mind, he only had one person on his advisory committee, one, for a doctoral dissertation. Wow. And the dissertation is loaded with far-right-wing, anti-LGBTQ, anti-Islamic. His name is Ali Rashad, right? But it's got a lot of anti-Islamic stuff in there. So I think, and I can't prove it, but I'll just say it, I think that the owner of that, Kenny Rhodes, wrote that. But, wow. Either that or he's got far more right-wing leaning ideas than he's letting on.
So go ahead.
Yeah, and the degree, the school, the supposed school, is not accredited anywhere really. So you're very justified to say that this is a fake PhD, and they keep it on that TYT website for who knows what reason. Now it's embarrassing, really.
So at the end of the day, do you believe? Because I sent you guys this question. Do you believe the Young Turks has independently verified these credentials and have said that these are real and we're going to keep him on?
Just one thing on the Schofield thing. His PhD that he claimed from Schofield, he's pulled it down now. It's not on his LinkedIn resume anymore.
Really?
Now, you explain that.
Really?
Why would anybody post, and he's done this for about 5 or 6 degrees. He posts them up, we make fun of them, and then he yanks them off. So why would anybody ever pull a PhD off of their resume?
Yeah, because it's BS. And I've said it's BS, and he's threatened to sue everybody. But I'm like, all right, send me the paperwork. Don't send me the threat.
He's threatened to sue you?
He's trying to sue anybody who's talked about this. So if he's suing, I'm all for it. That's the reason why I came out the videos and said explainly, this is fraud. This is blah 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 blah. So if anything I said was untrue, he can send me the paperwork tomorrow. Right? I put myself out there. So if he wants to send it, then he can send me the paperwork. But he's not going to send me any paperwork because he knows.
And he's threatened to sue me twice. His lawyer actually threatened to sue me in my comment section of my videos.
No. Really?
But see, the problem is that if he loses, he can now have to owe you fees and all that stuff. So yeah, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, I don't know.
But to answer the question, just to answer the question, whether you think that TYT has verified this, they don't want to verify this. They don't want to go there. I don't think they've verified it because they don't want to. They're just not interested in that. They're interested in the viewership that Rashad brings, and anything else just gets, tossed aside.
Yeah, because you think about it. If they put their hands in the cookie jar, right, now they're a part of it. They can just turn a blind eye, let Richey do Richey things and just say, hey, look, we trusted what this guy had to say. And when he's, his usefulness is ran up, they can replace him maybe with somebody that actually did the work. But for now, he's a useful pawn. So, hey.
But at the end, because there's especially with the liberal side, they're trying to say they're honest, they're giving people opportunities.
Moral.
But then to have something like this, like you have an employee who essentially has faked their entire resume and you're still holding them up. Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for the guy to get fired. I'm just advocating for his employer to take some responsibility and say, you know what? We made a mistake. But he's great at what he does, and we're going to keep him on the show. But we've had to change some of the things. I think that would probably be best because
no way.
It's got to be frustrating for you guys because you guys have been calling this out for years, and it's gotten really very light traction until recently. How does it feel for you guys to kind of be vindicated? Because right now I've got like over 1 million views on Rashad Ritchie doing all this crazy stuff. And obviously this is probably going to get like 50, 60,000 views. So how do you guys feel that now all of your hard work and research is now starting to come to light and now it's starting to expose the fraud, which is Rashad Ritchie?
Well, I've been at it for 5 years and I have about 5,000 subscribers. Okay. And keep in mind, I mean, I had 400 videos on Kyle and I had like 200 subscribers, right? So I was the biggest content publisher out there on Kyle during the trial and everything, and nobody was watching any of it. So, so I'm kind of used to it. I don't really care. I work full time. I've got money. I mean, it's not like I have to, constantly push out stuff to try to gain followers. In fact, I've said if I get 10,000, I'm a little bit worried. I mean, I have to be careful about that. So I'm not worried about it. What about you, Fake PhD?
Yeah, so Rashad's really had it coming for a long time, right? We've exposed him. We know that he watches your videos, Johnny Walker Dread, right? So he's watched your videos for years and made slight changes to his claims based on, what we've called him out on or what you've called him out on. And so he's, but he's continued this ever since then. He's continued making additional claims, putting up fake news releases of his, supposed accomplishments. So he's really had it coming with getting called out on this publicly. He still has his job. So he's actually posted, I think on LinkedIn, was it LinkedIn or Facebook, that all those naysayers, I still got my job. Everything's still good. He's essentially making fun of us because nothing has changed for him substantially.
Yeah, well, the problem is that we're going to keep ringing this bell, and the more we go, because I think the problem with this always is that you go to audience size, and if you have the smaller your audience, the smaller your reach. But now with Cam and myself, like I reach about 2.3 million people a month. So that kind of, and then the naysayers against TYT, like when you go to Politicon and all that stuff. Hey, you guys are here. You guys are in Truth Justice, but you're hiring a fraud and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I think that's kind of how you get to them, because they're getting calls. And some of the documents that he showed that were obviously fake. It's like, what are we doing here? But I want to ask you guys, all three of you guys, personally, I've gotten a lot of traction from his supporters. Why do you care? Why the evil white man doing the same thing too? Why don't you call them out? Which we do.
I mean, what's the ratio supposed to be?
But how do you feel about those people? Like, because I even had one in my video where guys like, I'm not gonna do any research. I don't care. He's saying what I like to hear. How does that make you guys feel when you guys obviously have the absolute facts that this guy is a fraud? I'll start with you, Johnny.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, a lot of people do comment on, like, I seem like I pick on black guys, or black people a lot, but my thing is race hustling, and they're the ones that are pushing out the content on YouTube. So I basically I come across these videos and they're ridiculous, and so I push out content on them. And so, yeah, over time, and I get lots of comments about the fact that, I must be racist and I must be, bigoted or stuff. But let me just say this. HBCUs, the person who's doing the most damage to HBCUs is not me. It's Rashad Ritchie and his ilk, who are going out, pushing out all kinds of crazy. You should see this one demonstration of quantum coherence. And he did, I think it was at Morehouse State or Morgan State, that had the students holding hands and stuff. And he said, oh, that's quantum coherence. And that's the kind of stuff that embarrasses these universities. It's not me, So I'm sorry, but the best way to control this is to put a stop to this kind of action.
Yeah. What about you, fake PhD?
Well, it's a free country. I mean, there's no law against just making up these claims. As there are some states where if you claim a fake degree and hold a public office, you're held accountable. But for this, anybody can believe what they want. I do have a question though for the people that really are, believing Rashad or are giving him a platform, like Piedmont Hospital Group in Atlanta, or the Carter Center from Jimmy Carter, right? That Carter Center. They give him a stage, and my question for them is this the best black guy that you can get, right? The Piedmont Hospital Group, they are, they're all white and they're in Atlanta. So yeah, maybe that's embarrassing you. You want to get a black guy on your board, but this is the guy that should represent that, really. I mean, that's laughable. You can't get somebody else that can do this, somebody actually educated and intelligent. Please.
I found out now. I don't really want to get you guys into political spheres with it, but I just can only say it from my experience, because I'm from New York. I went to extremely liberal school. It was all social justice and all that stuff. And at the school I went to, from law school, they had a program in which if you are black and you are a man, we're going to do everything possible to get you into law school. Damn what your GPA is, damn with anything. That's essentially what they did. They'll give you money. DEI. It's DEI, but this is before there was a name to it. It was more of affirmative action DEI type thing. So back then, what they were allowed to do is say, hey, we don't have enough black guys. So we want to have a more diverse class. So we want an X amount of black guys. So in my class, there were like 10 black men out of 200 or 300 students. It was like 300 students, but like 10 black men. Now, some of the black kids, because I had I was above a 3 GPA, so I could get into any school I wanted to because my scores were high enough and my GPA was high enough.
Right.
But a lot of the other black kids that were in there, the black men that were in there, their GPAs were like 2.5, and these people were getting scholarships to go to this school. And the first semester, half of them failed out of law school. And it was kind of like, why they fail out? And I'm like, because number one, they didn't study. A lot of the guys I'm talking about didn't study. They went on vacation during the semester. Like it was like there was this. It was like because it was given to them, they didn't appreciate it. While someone like me was going through it and actually doing it.
Because you were a police officer at that time.
So what I found is that policy actually was hurting those people who are in law school, because if you fail out, you can't go to any of the law school. Nobody's going to take you because you're a failure, or you got to go to some really shitty law school and have to pay top dollar. So it seems like on its face, Richey has gotten over this by just essentially just lying and just saying, hey, if I just pay to get this degree and do this, and it's almost like people are afraid to call it out because he is black.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, like with you two guys are racist. I'm a racist. He's a racist just by calling out the fact that he's doing this. And I think at the end of the day, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, the facts have to matter for something. And the fact that Rashad Ritchie is this monumental, huge fraud should mean something. And it's just sad because I don't care what his politics are. This should matter. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, bottom line, based on your research, do you think this is incompetence, self-delusion, or deliberate deception by either Richey or TYT in terms of what's going on now?
I don't. Okay, first of all, I think that Rashad, and I'm not a psychologist, I haven't examined him, but he seems to lie so much that I'm kind of wondering if that isn't some sort of mental quirk. But there is a point where, the lies flow from him, through him, just something crazy. So I don't know what his motivations are. He has delusions of grandeur, and you can see that all over the place. I mean, he really does fashion himself as Albert Einstein and Albert Schweitzer. Remember, he supposedly cured Alzheimer's. I don't know if you knew about that.
Yes,
but he supposedly has cured Alzheimer's, and it's proven it with a demonstration of one sample size on some lady. And really, that clinical study that he conducted should land him in some serious trouble, because you just cannot do that.
She said, "I remember something."
He's saying that, well, it was okay to run the experiment because it was just light and sound, so it wasn't going to hurt the person. Well, if it's not going to hurt the person, then how do you have any effect? How could it cure the person, right? I mean, it's got to have some sort of impact on the person, but you can't do that. You can't decide on your own that you're going to perform clinical studies on human subjects like that. It's really well controlled, and he did it. And I have another video on that. I DM'd you, but we don't have time for it. But yeah, he's claiming that he's cured a patient of Alzheimer's disease, and he's supposedly patented the device. And you have to see this device to believe it. It's just amazing.
So I did not know that. I'm sorry. How did he just skip the IRB and just go, well, whatever. I don't like this has to be, he has to be a mental case. I'm sorry.
That device, it's got these push pins on it. He's changed it a couple times. It's a joke, really. You should go to his Vimeo account. That's where he's got these videos. And I mean, for any scientist, they are just so laughable, really. But I think you've kind of mentioned a really important point in this, is that these black people are being put in universities at sort of at a rate that is not proportionate to their interest in going to university. Yes. Like Harvard will have 14% black people, and they're so proud because that is representative of the population. And then you have these people failing out, because they do fail out at a much higher rate out of university, because they're put in a place maybe that's not ideal for them. And for these individuals that are being accepted into the universities where they can't really keep up with the work, that's not to their benefit, really. And in general in society, you can have populations that have different interests and different strengths, and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to shoehorn people into administrative roles that they're not really they're not good at. Like, you can just have populations that have different strengths, and that's okay.
Well, let's say, for instance, the NBA, right? 80% of the NBA happens to be African American or black, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say they just decided, we're going to make the NBA representative of the population. Right? So you have an X amount of Asians, X amount of white, it's got to be 60% white, 13% black. That would be a disaster, right? You're like, what the hell? Is this the NBA, right? Because it's based purely on merit, right? So I think that's the point that people, they don't want to just to just say, right? It's just that these people aren't interested in that. And until you make them interested at the ground level, then that's what. But the last question I wanted to make sure to ask you guys is, if Richie were sitting right here in front of you right now, what would be the one thing you would like to ask him? I'm going to start with you, Fake PhD. What would you ask him if he was sitting in front of you right now?
That's a very good question. So, I mean, there are so many things to go through, and you know, you wouldn't get a straight answer from him. He wouldn't be able to answer. He would deflect in the style that he does in his bullpen on Indisputable, right? He would just deflect. He can't answer questions like that. What would I ask him? I think I would ask him. Well, we could just, ask him very pointed questions like. I think about his religious degrees, right? So things that he can't answer, or a specific physics question that he's gonna barricade around. But I actually have a question for you as well, Nate. So Rashad Ritchie's lawyer, Stacy, what's her name? And she is a Georgia state representative, right?
Yeah.
What are the implications for her? She's for her to get involved with lawsuits that Rashad Ritchie wants to file against people with her kind of high public profile.
Well, I'm gonna tell you straight up how I feel. He is not going to sue anyone unless and I think based on to sue under this particular thing, you have to kind of just make it up, right? Because he's definitely a public figure, right? I can just show the channel. He's got over 1 million subscribers. He is a public figure for sure, right? So now you have to have actual malice. And actual malice means you got no reason to really think that this is true. You're making it up. But here we got him giving us fake documents. We got this, we have all of this lined up. So at the end of the day, this lawyer is trying to essentially have scare tactics, right? They can say, for instance, they can call you guys up and say, hey, we're going to sue you for this, blah, 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 right? And everybody's scared. Oh, my God, lawsuit. Like Ken James was like, oh, my God, lawsuit. I put my video out there, and if they bring it on, I love the lawsuit. There's going to be more content for the channel. And I can write the paperwork myself because I am legit, right? And then it's crazy because I got all these lawyers who are begging me to take the lawsuit if he does file. For free. So it's a win-win. And just like with Johnny Walker, right? Me and Johnny have been talking. If he had an issue, we would help him take care of that issue. If you have an issue, I'm even saying I'll help you take care of the issue. Because this is a non-starter. It would be such a mistake because at a point I would be like, well, maybe we should just go to Discovery. If he does do it, maybe we should go to Discovery and see and make him produce this stuff. And that would be a hell of a risk because then we get to put all that stuff out. Well, here it is. Here's the communication. Here's where we get this. So yeah,
he's not going to do it.
If he does, I would be shocked, totally shocked. And I would be happy because I'd be like, we now got some real content to make. We're going to make some money on this. Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. So yeah, that's what I think about his lawyer and his lawsuit. Matter of fact, if they don't keep their mouth shut, I know the reason why they deleted the lawsuit page. And there are not only ethical violations, but there are some other violations with. Well, I'll just say this: in certain jurisdictions, if you're not a licensed attorney or even have gone to law school, you cannot run a law firm.
Really?
In some states, it's called practicing without a license. But, so I understand why you got to take some of that stuff down. But there is some criminal liability here that can be ferried out. So if he wants to go that route, he can go that route. But you're talking about representing people in different jurisdictions, having your name on his law firm, in each state that you've been to. What about
a lot of charges?
Why do you think the other person took their name off that site, right? There's a lot of different things going on. And again, people, you don't have to trust me. Go to your chat bot, go to Google, and Google can a non-attorney lead a law firm or own a law firm, and they'll see they can do it as a non-managing partner or somebody who's just an equity partner. You just give money, but you can't be the face. It can't be the Nate and Mims firm because he is not a lawyer. His name can't be on Mims and Nate. That's not going to work.
Didn't pass the bar.
So they know that, and I can see kind of how things are flowing out. So, in terms of lawsuit, if he sues, he would be worse for him than for any of us. But now, John,
I think the bigger problem he would have beyond the legal thing would be the FDA, because performing clinical studies on human subjects without approval from an IRB, that's serious stuff. And he actually published this in a predatory journal, of course, but he's making a claim that he did it. And keep in mind also, in that study, in that paper, he said that they informed this patient that she would no longer have to undergo somebody else's experimental trials because she was doing so well in theirs. You're actually given medical advice without a degree. You cannot tell somebody or advise them to discontinue your treatments from someone else unless you're a medical doctor. And he did.
Look, there's somebody in the comments right now. What is IRB? Trying to search it desperately to understand. You cannot do just for y'all out there. If you're trying to do any medical anything experimental with humans or almost anything living, you need to have an IRB verify that. There's institutions that hire them specifically for that purpose. And Richie clearly didn't do any of that because he's not educated enough to know about that. That's just the truth. But that can really land you some jail time, some serious jail time. But there's actually two questions that I would have for him. Actually, one, why does he look like a Temu Steve Harvey? And two, how does he calculate the area under the curve? I mean, because if he has these advanced physics degrees, he should know easily how to calculate area under the curve. So, I'm just curious, how do you do it, Richie?
Well, Johnny, what's your answer to the question? If he was sitting right here and you got a chance to ask him the question, what would it be?
Where is magnetic north? in his master's thesis, geophysics, he claimed that magnetic north and true north were aligned.
What? Everybody knows that's not true.
Yep.
It's over
absolutely.
Oh my
Anybody
God.
who's a pilot knows you can't get to the North Pole by flying with their compass.
Yeah. I use a North
And so, yeah, that would be my question for him.
Oh my God. Well, listen, guys, thank you. And please, we definitely got to do this again because I know there's a lot more going on. He's got a lot more stuff happening. And we are definitely going to try to continue to follow this story.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because I kind of feel bad for Richie because I understand he's trying to fake it till he makes it. But at a point, you got to be held accountable for your fake, right? Yeah, he's not. Well, he's making it. He's got over 1 million subscribers. But at a point, when is this not just fraud? Right. When is this not just pure deception?
There's no way he can walk this back. There's no way he can. If he says, you know what, okay, yeah, I did get this degree from this diploma mill. So what? Because that brings into question if he concedes an inch, people will question him for miles, and he can't do it.
But
it's too far in.
Tell you what, it gets a little bit deeper though. On his true EDD dissertation, he lists 2 diploma mills at the top. So he may have gotten into Clark Atlanta by claiming unaccredited degrees. Okay, so yeah, discovery, that would be really brutal on him.
Oh yeah. He's killed for discovery. Matter of fact, the fact that we're talking about it is going to kill him. But it is what it is. Well, first 2 things. If you guys can, I'm going to put you guys in both the description of the video and in the description so people can find you. Let's start with you, Fake PhD. Tell people where they can find you. And if you can, send me a DM with all your information where people can find you. So I'm going to put it all in the link in the description so people can find you. But let the people know where they can find you.
I'm on Twitter as Fake PhD Investigator, and I have a Substack with just a number of articles about people who have faked their degrees. So also it's called Fake PhD Investigations.
Vladimir Putin, right, is on that list. I thought I saw Putin on that list.
Right. Yeah, he's got a fake one too, but he's made it. So he's faked it until he made it.
He's made it. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Man, well, done with the Russians after me. Thank you, comrade. Thank you. I still believe in the Ukraine war. You got it. What about you, Johnny?
Well, I host the Johnny Walker Dread Show on YouTube. I have a Twitter handle, but I can't remember what it was. I don't really do a lot on Twitter. I have like 200 followers or something like that. But yeah, if you're interested in Kyle Rittenhouse, Sovereign Citizens, I did a lot of those. I was one of the first ones to come out with those. And of course, Rashad Ritchie and race hustlers like Richard Taylor and Dr. Umar. I did his dissertation, by the way. It's garbage. If you're interested in those things, go to the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
Johnny Walker Dread Show. So please, again, just I'll just link you guys in both the description. Please, guys, go check out their stuff. It is great. And again, if you guys like a lot of the information I got from the Rashad Ritchie stuff, these are the two gentlemen who found that information. And as you guys know, I had to go verify behind them, and it was all on point. Now, I can't say for everything because I've done that before. Like, oh, this is one thing. But I can say everything that I've checked has been 100% on point, but you guys got to do your own research.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Fake PhD. Thank you.
Yeah,
Hopefully
thanks
you
for having
guys
us on.
would come back.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great. We enjoyed it.
And now we're going to move to our Bride of Charlie and Candace Owens nonsense.
Boy.
So if you guys want to stay and listen listen to the Candace Owens nonsense, you can. Or if you guys want to leave, it's totally guys up to you. So
Yeah, I've got a few other things. I got a jet, but it was good being on here. Thank you.
Thank you guys, and we'll hopefully see you again.
Right.
All right. So at this point in time, we now are moving from Rashad Ritchie to what's it called? The Bride of Charlie. No, not Chucky, Charlie. And she wanted to make it seem like Chucky, but it's the Bride of Charlie. So let's look at, so we're going to pull up Candace Owens' trailer, her trailer. She has a trailer out, The Bride of Charlie. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is supposed to be coming out today. It's hot off the press. So we're gonna look at The Bride of Charlie.
So I think this is going over the whole, she has I don't say hate boner, but she has a little animus toward TPUSA, but specifically Erica Kirk, because she's still kind of peddling this idea that that Erica has something to do with her husband's death. Like she is convinced.
Well, let me make sure I set this up. Candace Owens has a non-disparagement agreement with Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA and all of their people. Erica Kirk is the CEO of Turning Point USA.
Right.
So non-disparagement means even if it's true, if it's disparaging, you may have to pay. So I don't know what Candace went on straight up and said, I got this agreement, I signed it. If I think they're bad things about them, I'm in trouble. And she's still saying bad things about him. So now, remember at a point, it was like Megyn Kelly. At a point, Candace was saying all these things, but she wasn't just saying it. She was kind of like, maybe there may be something here.
Allegedly.
Yeah, like somebody said something, but I don't really know what they said. And it might be from a source, but who that source is, who really knows? That's what she was, that was the beginning of it. Yeah.
Now is full bore.
So now remember, first, let me play Megyn Kelly. So remember Ben Shapiro and Megyn Kelly were talking about this, and then Megyn Kelly eventually had to, she was asked about it. She was asked by Ben Shapiro about it. And remember, she said, well, no, Candace has never said that Charlie, that Erica was,
behind the whole
that killed Charlie, whatever. So here it is. Here is, we're gonna do Megyn Kelly.
And I have since learned
about Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk. Candace Owens claiming that Charlie Kirk was killed by his wife. So this is her responding to that criticism.
He said that Candace has been claiming Erica Kirk was behind the murder of Charlie, which I had.
Now, he is Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro said, hey, Candace is claiming that Charlie's wife was behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Right.
And this is Megyn Kelly talking about it.
He said that Candace has been claiming Erica Kirk was behind the murder of Charlie, which I had not heard. And I was taken aback because that seems like something I would have heard. It's so crazy. And I have since learned it is not true. Candace has not made that claim. And in fact, I've now seen several clips of Candace specifically defending Erica Kirk and saying she would never make a claim like that about Erica, and that she is open-minded to other people at Turning Point. That's obvious. She's been making that point. I had heard that point, but she's specifically been defending Erica Kirk, and she's been saying she does not think that of Erica. And in fact, if you read her comments, she's under pressure to make comments about Erica. And so far, what I've seen, she hasn't. So thank you for that question.
All right. Sounds pretty clear, right? Candace is defending Erica Kirk.
So never said that. That's crazy. I would have heard it.
Yes.
So
you guys are being crazy. But then later on, yesterday, right, a couple of days ago, Candace then put this out. So we're going to put out what Candace put out. Candace puts this out. And you remember, Megyn Kelly said, Candace is not saying that Erica has anything
never
to do with
said,
the death.
never heard that.
Not even implying.
She was defending Erica.
Trump says that Kirk has died after he was shot from a nearby building.
After being shot at Utah Valley University.
The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
Just so everybody's on the same page, we are watching Candace Owens' trailer. What's it called? The Wife of Charlie.
The bride.
The Bride of Charlie.
I didn't even get to give him a kiss goodbye. That young man, I forgive him.
Take your time.
Erica Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's dead. I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. It's weird to say excited.
Describes her husband's funeral as the event of the century. Merch, hats.
We have 50,000 plus hat orders.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
Zionists, the Prime Minister of Israel, all lied through their teeth.
You got to throw in some Jew hate. It's Candace, so we got to throw in some hatred of the Jews.
It's just suspicion. Just suspicious.
I'm just asking questions, people.
About Charlie Kirk.
Her operation was in Constanta, the epicenter of Romania's trafficking scandal.
There it is. That's what I was talking about. I've been seeing a lot of this.
Erica Kirk is trafficking children. Is that what they're trying to say?
Associated with a well-known organization that's associated with Epstein-like activities and stuff. I've been seeing a lot of comments about that.
Let me call you. Hold on, sweetheart. Give me a second. Give me a sec. Sex. S-E-X. Wow. Okay. S-E-C. Sex. Sex too. But not from you. LOL. Holy blank. You always make me laugh.
I don't bat for the other team.
So she's talking to a woman, but this is supposed to be, but obviously this was a mistake. Give me a sex. It's supposed to be sex. They changed it up and they made a joke. So is this supposed to be proof that
that Erica Kirk, she's maybe having, just gay on the weekends.
An inappropriate relationship with somebody? I don't know. That's just strange.
Your conversations to have with.
So hold on. What do we say? We got a conversation.
Romania's trafficking scandal.
Weird conversations to have.
Okay, so
why doesn't live in Michigan? I plan to find shows. So she's saying they have
Romania's trafficking scandal.
Weird conversations to have with a 15-year-old. I'm gonna touch your butt. $8.6 million.
Wait,
so that was a 15-year-old?
Supposedly, yeah. I'm just like, where does it's okay? Like I love a little crazy woman. Okay, that's fine. But it's just, if we're going to do this, if we're going to do this, Candace, you're like showing little bits and pieces really quickly, like that doesn't do anything, right? I don't like. What is this? I like it's too much, too fast. I don't. Just
and she clearly made a mistake here.
It's autocorrect.
Sex, yeah, and she put SEC. Sex too, but not from you. She's specifically talking about, hey.
Yeah, you're not my husband.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to play the damn video. They're like, play the damn video. Hey, we were reacting to it. We're trying to see what the hell's going on.
Weird conversations to have with a 15-year-old. I'm gonna touch your butt. $8.6 million to their own shell company. What is going on?
We have nothing to hide. My aunt used to tell me never do something that you don't want on the front page of a newspaper.
Oof. Okay. Well, an investigative series. Is Candace's background in like journalism? Is that?
I don't know. Well, she does her little stuff, but is this disparaging people?
You're really like
may have killed your own husband.
It suggests a lot. It really suggests a lot.
Like this, it's like a Netflix drama series right here. As you set up on Netflix. I don't know.
It's a crime theater. It's a suspension thriller, right?
Yeah, this is. I think this may be disparaging, Candace. I sorry,
but it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm just telling the truth. Remember, I'm just telling the truth.
That's it. NDA. It's not about the truth. It's about It's this is like are people actually believing that she's people actually believe
yes. I could tell you, yes, people. I've been reading some of the comments under different on X, and just there are people who 100% buy this.
Well, here is. Let me see. We got Philip DeFranco, who's going to tell us that the community, most of the seemingly the right is saying that this is getting crazy. So let me share this. This is Philip DeFranco.
The grief that I was experiencing was in large part due to my understanding that this was going to be missional for me. I kind of knew deep down that the whole world was going to be against me, or I guess the whole dark apparatus was going to be against me.
Now, with this, as far as the reactions, her loyal listeners, they appear to be buying this, fully interested in what she's putting out there, believing, yes, she is the hero. But also, you have plenty of people, including many on the right, thinking that she's essentially just kind of removed from reality. And that's for a number of reasons, including that leading up to her video yesterday, she wrote, I received information last night that put the final pieces together for me. I now can say with full confidence that I believe Charlie Kirk was betrayed by the leadership of Turning Point USA and some of the very people who eulogized him on stage. Yes, I will be naming names and providing evidence for my claims. And I am making a personal plea to every well-meaning person who donated to this godforsaken organization to request a refund. You were lied to and leadership knew. So you admit.
Okay.
That seems like
pretty disparaging, huh?
That seems like it's very disparaging.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. It's like what's the end game here? And people, am I missing this? Like what's going on here? What?
I mean, talk about milking his tragedy. I like, okay, cool. You can say the stuff that Erica Kirk is doing, subsequent of her husband's death. Yeah, it does look a little like the tent that is like a recreation of where he got shot. Incredibly, I'm gonna say
that's it. That's
really creepy.
Love you, Charlie, but I hate you, Charlie.
But at the same time, okay, what we're seeing here from Candace, it does seem a bit suspicious when it comes to like the level of obsession. And this is just me personally. You're gonna have a hard time convincing me that part of this isn't motivated by the personal and seemingly somewhat romantic feelings that Candace may have had for Charlie.
I think she wanted to bang Charlie.
You say okay.
She wanted to bang Charlie.
Cat's out the bag.
Yeah, I think Charlie's the one that got away. You can't go through all this, right? You can't like what you doing here? You literally got a contract saying if I say bad stuff about you, I will pay. And she's like, damn that, I'm gonna continue to say bad. She's saying the woman killed. Essentially, she's saying she killed or had some dealing with killing her own husband.
I should have been Mr. Kirk. That's you.
I'm saying that's just my opinion, but it's like what is it?
A lot of effort.
None of this makes any sense.
It's
people.
A lot of effort.
And listen, and again, you guys may say I'm too liberal or whatever. Tatum, Shapiro, Poole, everybody. Alex Jones, who is Mr. Lunacy when it comes to the frogs game. He said she's got a problem. So I don't know. You know, it's funny because there's this video that they put up about with Candace. This is what they said happened yesterday. So this is why this thing yesterday.
Love you, Charlie, but I hate you, Charlie, but I love you. I love him. I hate him. Love you, Charlie, but I hate you, Charlie. I love you. I hate him. Love you, Charlie, but I hate you, Charlie, but I love you. I love him. I hate him. Charlie, why did you get married? Well, why did you love Israel? I love that you, but I hate you, but I love, fuck you, man. This is gonna be hard. Love you, Charlie, but I hate you, Charlie, but I love you. I love him. I hate. This ends now. Never go full Candace. Let me out.
Yeah. What's the end game here, people? What's the end game here?
I should laugh. That's not funny.
This is lunacy here. I don't know. I'm trying, even trying to figure this out. Like, what is her point with all this? Like, where's she going with this?
I could see. Okay, well, Candace needs a target. Okay. Where she's at is not a real target-rich environment, right? Because she's no longer attached. Because she could just sort of parrot whatever is being said by Turning Point USA. They pick a direction or a target. She echoes it. But now that she's no longer part of the organization, well, where is she going to aim? But the same thing happens in left-leaning circles when they don't have someone on the right as an antagonist, right? They'll find someone within their own camp to make into, the target. So I don't think it's really unique. I think it's just kind of just human nature. But I 100% think it's fueled in part by her affection for Charlie.
It may. I don't know. I know we're gonna have Candace fans in here. Nate, you just don't know. This is all crazy. You just don't know. Well, here's another video. Again, this is a time over time to see how the stuff is.
Is this her rhetoric?
Yeah, this is not the rhetoric video.
This is not rhetoric.
We haven't even gone to the whole she can't pronounce words. But here we go.
But I'm starting to think that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was something akin to a regicide, right? The assassination of a king to install a new ruler who the king would have never approved of. Anyways, back at headquarters, I am told it's business as usual. And it's kind of giving me LBJ when he gets sworn in that famous picture. Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed. And now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately. But I gotta be honest, I wasn't there. I don't think LBJ was actually that upset. I don't know why. Vibes. The vibes just aren't vibing for me in that picture, knowing, as I do, and as Charlie did believe that LBJ was involved, which then implicates the feds as having been involved, which then implicates the Dallas police station as being involved. I believe Israel was obviously involved, that they were the ones that wanted him dead. When Ben came out swinging, I was going, oh, something's very wrong here. Basically, Erica here is pulling the LBJ. And what I mean by that is as soon as LBJ got into office after JFK's assassination, he reversed course on every single one of JFK's policies. JFK's enemies seemingly became LBJ's friends. Erica appears to be doing that to me. But
So what do
you think? What do you gather from that?
Erica Kirk works for Mossad.
Yes, that's what it sounds like. And she, what with Charlie?
Charlie said, you know what, I don't because she showed text messages. I'll say Candace showed text messages where Charlie wasn't a huge fan of Israel's influence in our politics. He made that pretty clear that, because he criticized everything. He criticized civil rights. He criticized, race-based. But he was 110%, from what I could tell, very critical. So I think for Candace, she's now going, well, because Turning Point USA, pro-Zionist typically. So I think that's where she's connecting those dots and saying, okay, she'll play ball. Hey, they said, hey, look, you need to get rid of him. We'll install you. You work for us now. And then Candace is playing whistleblower, and now they got to get rid of her. They got to silence her.
Yeah, she said somebody was trying to kill her or something like that.
Yeah. That she was alluding to it, but I think that's part of the overall scheme that she's trying to create here.
All right, so people, we're gonna watch this. This is the last video we're gonna watch on Candace, and you got to tell me where the hell she's going with this, because again, she has a non-disparagement agreement with these people. She can't say bad things about them for another year.
She's just telling the truth.
And they're telling you can, but you can't be disparaging, right? It's true that you were locked up for whatever, but this disparages me. So it's true.
If y'all get if you listen to Candace Owens talk about, like, when people bring up the non-disparaging agreement, her response to that, to any variation of that, is I'm telling the truth, because she likes to conflate disparagement with defamation.
Yeah, defamation.
She conflates them all the time, and that is what I don't care. Candace Owens, she's funny to me, but
it's funny.
But it is. But she will very often, and you catch this when she talks about it, she conflates disparagement with defamation every single time.
And just so everybody understands the difference, defamation is something that legally you have to overcome the First Amendment, your First Amendment free speech protection through defamation. That's why it has to be intentional and all that stuff. But when it comes to non-disparagement agreements, I can contract away my right to say negative things about you, right? If Drag says, "Hey, Nate, I'll pay you $1 million not to say anything bad about me," and we'll sign an agreement, then I am contracted with that agreement. So I can't say anything bad about it, even if it's true.
Yeah.
Even if it's true.
But then defamation is,
it has to be false.
If I tell y'all, well, I know Nate's not a lawyer, his law degree's sitting right there.
Yeah.
I see it every time I come in here. And that you can see, right? It's sitting right behind me. So I know that that's false. That's defamation. So there's a huge difference there. And so I don't think, because supposedly she has lawyers, I don't think she listens to them, but hey.
Well, whatever they're saying, they probably go get them, because she's every time she does one of these things, it's more money. I would say the jury would, this is at this point malicious, right? She knows they've talked to her, but let's look at the video.
There's old footage of Tyler Robinson that is now circulating.
Yeah, I was looking up at the light just before getting there. Okay. I saw it shift yellow. And as I get into the intersection, there was a vehicle in the lane.
Tyler certainly refers to it as his car, not his vehicle.
He wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year.
First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents, and you're doubling down on your lie. I told you to publish the full letter that Charlie wrote you, not lines of it. Okay? It's a lie by omission.
New York Post got a hold of that letter. They've now published it. Charlie Kirk expressing his love for Israel. No attacks on Israel, just advice on how to fight lies and reach the next generation.
I still haven't spoken to the press about Charlie Kirk, actually. Haven't even given one interview about Charlie Kirk, because it felt icky to me. I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out. And I, first and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I want to be very clear on that. A very strange tweet that Josh Hammer hit send on 16 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, right? What could have been going on that Josh Hammer decided to dig through the 2013 Twitter archives and retweet someone calling for a public execution? Now, what is the justification for this? There might be one. I tried in earnest to at first rationalize it. Would we trust if Josh came out and said that tweet was definitely about Irina? Other people pulled Trump tweets. Some pulled that very tweet and called for a public execution. I was in this aggrieved stage, and I really didn't poke my head up until weeks later, when I could stop crying about it every second. Charlie Kirk, my friend, is dead. First, this is fantastic that Preborn is doing this to remind you guys about Pure Talk. Also reminding you guys about American financing.
So she's literally trying to she's monetizing. This is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard point for her to make about monetization when it's like both you
6 days after,
like you and Erica are both profiting from this. That's an arguable point. Just because one may be profiting more doesn't defeat the fact that both of you are. We're talking about this.
Wow.
So
also reminding you guys about GNO land. Also telling you guys about Just Thrive. You can head over to our website, CandaceOwens.com. You can sign up, buy yourself a hat. What about his burial? How come we haven't seen anything about his burial?
You repeatedly questioned why we weren't being told where Charlie Kirk is buried. Did you get those answers?
You have the wrong commentator who questioned that. November.
So I like how they play She literally questioned it, and then when asked about it,
yeah. So how many ad reads did she just do in that one video?
Yeah, she did like
that was crazy. By the way, y'all need to buy my new GNC product, Super Male Enhancement Super XL.
Like, doesn't she realize that all this stuff is recorded? Because she literally said the.
What about his burial? How come we haven't seen anything about his burial?
You repeatedly questioned why we weren't being told where Charlie Kirk is buried. Did you get those answers?
Now, she should say, well, no, I haven't, or if I had, or whatever, but let's see what she says.
You have the wrong commentator who questioned that November 25th.
She did question it.
I obviously tweeted, Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. I report to the FBI. Of course, I reported it to the FBI.
Now, this is the same day. So,
because you could make an argument, hey, she forgot what she said 3 months ago. Okay, this is the same day.
Okay.
I did not at all hear back from the FBI. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that. But I did send a text message to somebody very high up.
She has said.
So how? Okay.
All right, hold on. Maybe I'm understanding. So
because she did say she contacted. I want to say she said I contacted
my
the FBI.
Assassination. I report to the FBI. Of course, I reported it to the FBI.
So she's reported it to the FBI.
Okay, so in this case,
reporting to the FBI generally means I sent them an email. I filled out the incident report. I spoke to somebody,
you
right?
can go on the FBI. If y'all know this, you can go to the FBI website and there's a form on there that you can fill out. So that's when she says report to the FBI. That's what I take that as.
All right. So now she says later what she actually did.
I did not at all hear back from the FBI. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send.
So she didn't go through an official channel.
An email, and I should do that. But
and she should do that because they give you a report number and everything to verify, right?
I did send a text message to somebody very high up.
So she sent a text message to somebody very high up, and she says that's reporting it to the FBI.
So this is really weird. I give it this actually reminds me of something that happened to me recently when I was coming back from the birthday party. We were at a gas station. It was a very weird scenario where the young girl approached my wife. My wife called me around the car, and the girl was acting really sheepish. It was a very strange, communication. The supposed mother came out and got the girl, scurried her away, and everything about it seemed off. This is Houston. This is a hub for human trafficking. I contacted my cousin who was a police officer, okay? So if when I'm telling you this, would you consider that reporting it, making a police report? No, you wouldn't. My cousin said, go to the police department and let them know and fill out a report. And so guess what we did? We went to the police department and actually filled out a report and spoke to detectives. So it's me sending my cousin a message and me physically going and talking to police and discussing it and giving them all the information, two very distinct things. So I like the fact that she's portraying it this way. It's incredibly deceptive. I'll say that at the very minimum, really deceptive.
Yeah, it's not true. She didn't formally report it to the FBI. The FBI hasn't got back. I texted it to a friend, and my friend hasn't got back. That's the honest way to say it. Not I reported it to you. I reported it to somebody who works with it. She could have reported to a janitor who works for an FBI. We don't know who her contact is.
I sent the smoke signal. They haven't sent it back yet.
What the hell?
He has said Charlie's murder, quote, had to be approved by Charlie's friends, and then suggested those friends might have her murdered too for, quote, knowing.
I never said that. The decision was made to murder Charlie Kirk, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends.
Hold on. So you Candace people, you guys got to make this. Maybe this is because these are clips, but it seems like she is like they're repeating exactly what she said, and she said so. It's almost like all she has to say is I didn't say that, and millions of people believe that she didn't say that.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
What the hell are we watching?
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
All right.
I think Candace Owens has bipolar 2 disorder.
I don't know.
I think, and this is me personally, I think because that if any of y'all know anyone that suffers from that and is unmedicated, that's exactly what this sounds like. Because they'll get into a heightened state of emotion and they'll say things, and then afterwards, after they've gone, they won't remember a thing.
This person says she texted Cash Patel. Cash. What if
Cash?
Not if she texted Cash. No, if she texted Cash, it would be the same thing. fill out a form. There's a process, right? You got to get a report number. Somebody's trying to kill you. I'm going to text the cash and like, all right, no report file. Like, come
He's
on.
just going to hand his phone to one of the agents.
Yeah,
Hey,
like
do something.
Call her. You got to fill out the paperwork. We got to find out. Let's get the phone number. Not she texted me somebody's trying to kill her and I didn't get back to her. Well, what the hell is that?
Hey, Cash, look into this for me, bro. Thanks.
Yeah.
Pick me up some fries on the way home. Like,
said Charlie's murder, quote, had to be approved by Charlie's friends, and then suggested those friends might have her murdered too for, quote, knowing.
I never said that. The decision.
So she never said that, right?
Never
so
said
now we got to hear what exactly she said. Okay.
That the decision was made to murder Charlie Kirk, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends. Is this going to be the pathway forward? You're going to start murdering more people in broad daylight for knowing? I never said that. I certainly.
All right. She said it. It sounds like she said it to me. I never said that.
Never said that.
Is that how easy it is, really, online? I'll only have to say is I didn't say that, and you guys would believe it.
Stricken from the record.
Yeah, just I didn't say that. Even though it's on camera, it's recorded. I just got to say I didn't say that. Is it that easy? I mean,
Yes.
like all this time I've been trying to prove my facts, show that I'm just not making this crap up. All they have to do is make it up and just say I didn't say it when I get caught. Is that like?
You have to look up too when you say it. I didn't say that. I didn't. It's like you know at some point she's had to have seen this. She has had to have seen these compilations. They
got a dead to rights on a lot of these. It's like a couple of these is just like really. Are we here? Well, so let's talk the lie.
Didn't suspect Turning Point USA would be, as I believe, involved in a cover-up. It doesn't necessarily mean they were involved in plotting to kill him.
All right, so that's very clear, right? But it didn't mean they were involved in killing him. It doesn't mean anything, right?
And I've never said that. Cam Higbee is on the payroll of Turning Point USA, the very organization that just had its leader assassinated in broad daylight in front of the entire world.
If Candace is available, we would sincerely.
Yeah, she pretty much said. Yeah, I think that's exactly what she said. And it's funny because she says she doesn't. It's like I never said that, right? December 10th. But then 5 days before that, she absolutely said it, and it's on camera. Like, how? What am I missing here? If you're a fan of Candace, what are we missing here?
I know there's people who are fans of Richey that you know.
I certainly didn't suspect Turning Point USA would be, as I believe, involved in a cover-up. It doesn't necessarily mean they were involved in plotting to kill him. And I've never said that. Cam Higbee is on the payroll of Turning Point USA, the very organization that just had its leader assassinated in broad daylight in front of the entire world.
So does that mean Turning Point USA had Charlie Kirk assassinated? Is that what she's saying?
You have to wait another 5 days and get the real answer. Okay.
That's what it sounds like she's saying. She's saying that Turning Point USA clearly had Charlie assassinated. What am I missing, people?
Candace is available. We would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix.
So I accept it with whistles and bells, everything. I fully accept. You can pick the place, you can pick the time, but no, they need to have it in person in Phoenix on December 15th, or they cannot have me at all.
So
no one.
So at first we can do it anytime.
Unconditionally. Then the next day conditions.
Straight conditions though, like time, place, occurrence. Like we need to have it all set up. All right.
And I mean absolutely no one outside of my husband and Erica Kirk has the power to shut me up. There's nobody that has the capacity to get me to shut up about this except for Erica Kirk and my husband. I'm not going to stop unless Erica Kirk asks me to stop. If Erica Kirk asks me to be quiet, I will be quiet.
So are they going to, so is Erica Kirk going to ask you to be quiet?
Well, of course she is.
Right? Is that what's going to happen? Is that what's going to happen? She just said she would be quiet if Erica Kirk asked her. We heard it multiple times.
But hold on for a second.
Multiple times. We didn't hear just once or twice.
It wasn't
She's saying that like every time.
It wasn't just Erica Kirk. She threw her husband in there too. But you notice in the last two, husband disappeared.
Erica Kirk. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just asking questions again. So is Erica Kirk going to say, stop it? Let's hear it.
Stop. To stop.
I just do not accept any of that. Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that.
Now, hold on. So this lie is essentially
in the same. It's the same stream.
It's the same, but just look at the time frame. Look at the time frame. This one is 12 minutes later. So it started, and then it ends 12. So she's gonna contradict herself in essentially 12 minutes. Let's see what happens.
Oh, come on.
We're complicit in having this happen.
You said
my
that
show.
people-
I sit and
Here we go.
do not accept any of that. Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen.
You said
okay. Turning Point had to be complicit about what happened.
Right. They're implicated clearly.
Now let's talk. Now we're 12 minutes later.
the people at Turning Point were complicit in his murder.
No, my exact sentence that I said was that there were people at Turning Point who are engaged in a cover-up.
No, you didn't.
I believe
Sorry,
that
you didn't.
thoroughly.
Candace, you didn't say that. You said literally.
I did say that
they
on
were,
my entire
You said
show.
there were people at Turning Point complicit in
No.
his murder.
Okay.
That's what you said.
What am I about to do? I had to.
This is why she gets away with it. Because I'm like, what did she say? But did she say there were people at Turning Point that was complicit in Charlie's murder?
Right.
Let's listen to
okay,
that.
let's
any of that. Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen.
You said
so. She said the word even complicit.
That's it. So she did say complicit at Turning Point.
Okay. All right. So she said it.
Right.
So now let's see what she says now. 12 minutes later.
The people at Turning Point were complicit in his murder.
No, my exact sentence that I said was that there were people at Turning Point who are engaged in a cover-up.
No, you didn't.
I believe
Sorry,
that
you didn't.
thoroughly.
Candace, you didn't say that. You said literally.
I did say that
they
on
were,
my entire
You said
show.
there were people at Turning Point complicit in
No.
his murder.
You Pierce
Okay.
is right. Like,
That's
what you
she
said.
just said 12 minutes earlier, right? She just said that.
She used the word complicit, and then he repeated the same word.
And
No,
she
I
said,
didn't
"No,
say
I'm not
that.
saying that."
I didn't say that. I said we're involved.
What I'm about to tell you guys today is going to positively blow your mind. I just cannot see how this would lead to anything other than a full confession from the government about the military's involvement in his assassination.
So now she's in.
The military was involved? So
Yeah.
Trump and the military is involved in Kurt's assassination?
And Fort Huachuca, I think that's an AIT, if I'm not mistaken. Why would you take trainee soldiers to do an assassination? If I'm not, and I know there are veterans who watch this, isn't Fort Huachuca an AIT? Hypothetically, I'm gonna go along with what she's trying to say. I would take trained soldiers who've been in for a while if I was going to do some clandestine stuff like this, right? I'm going to take operators who you can trust, not somebody who just put on a uniform and learn how to wash their ass correctly. But I want to hit around. I'm curious now. Let's go. Let's do it.
And I'm certain he is going to probably be doing a lot of interviews in the near future. Like I said, I'm going to put together a fundraiser for you. And I do believe you are a missing piece of this. I don't know what comes next, but I just want you to know that like you have an ally in me, and I hope you see that I am a fighter. And when I see good people and bad things happen to them, I will fight.
We didn't know what it was going to lead to. And I was like, I couldn't have been more deferential in saying that this could literally lead to nothing. Like, hey, this guy said this, whatever. And then all of a sudden you guys every day are obsessing over it.
So hold on. Just so, because I think this is where shit gets kind of crazy. So she's back here talking this guy up, right? This is the guy. This is the evidence, right? So how it started, right? So this is the evidence. This is the guy. And this is Fort, like you said,
So Fort
why
Huachuca,
it suddenly really matters, right? So
all right,
that fort, it really matters. And we got this guy
who's somehow and that's the thing. Somebody said, yeah, is it so if y'all AIT is advanced individual training, right?
Okay.
So when you join the military, like for instance, I joined, and around 2010, I went to Fort Benning for my basic training. Everybody goes through basic. For your job training, you go generally to a different base unless you're infantry. Cool. But so I went to Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio. Okay. You're still not officially a soldier until you pass AIT. And then really you get to your first unit. But even then, you're still fresh. So using anyone at that stage in their training is pretty much useless because you're not even technically a full-fledged soldier yet. So that as soon as I saw that, I like red flags are going off here. It doesn't make sense.
All right. But again, like I'm still confused on so now we got and she's changing the story a month later.
It's evolved.
Yeah, it's evolved a month later. So let's play it out.
I just cannot see how this would lead to anything other than a full confession from the government about the military's involvement in his assassination. I'm certain he is going to probably be doing a lot of interviews.
So this guy that she's bringing on is the evidence that's going to make the government put out a full confession that they were involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Okay, I wonder how is he related to which? Okay,
so that's where it gets
in the near future. Like I said, I'm going to put together a fundraiser for you. And I do believe you are a missing piece of this. I don't know what comes next, but I just want you to know that like you have an ally in me, and I hope you see that I am a fighter. And when I see good people and bad things happen to them, I will fight.
We didn't know what it was going to lead to. And I was like, I mean, I couldn't have been more deferential in saying that this could literally lead to nothing. You know, like, hey, this guy said this, whatever. And
so before it was guaranteed they're going to have to confess. Now she's
walking it back.
Now she's walking it back. I told you this could have led to nothing. That's not what I heard. I heard this was the bomb. And now it's possible. I told you it could possibly lead to nothing.
Isn't this the thing that one of the things Alex Jones was talking about? If I'm not mistaken, I think Alex Jones was even talking about this because he was offering his opinion because there was a few different theories going out there. But I want to say I heard Alex Jones specifically talk about this one, and he was skeptical about it. But I'm just like.
But she's walking it back. She's walking it back too. She's skeptical about it too. And they're all skeptical about it now.
And all of a sudden, you guys every day are obsessing over it. Won't let it go. I had him on the show. That was it.
I was totally in a cloud of grief. Okay.
She said that you guys won't let it go.
She said on the dry fly. Oh, she fly fishing.
Yeah, no, but it's funny because she's like, you idiots won't let this go. It's obviously a lie. You guys won't let it go. I'm like, she's telling how fast. What you guys been talking about? It's over. It's obviously not true.
I stopped talking about this last week. Why are y'all still on this?
Go. I had him on the show. That was it.
I was totally in a cloud of grief.
Right.
Okay, you remember I had to go away to Wyoming.
All right, so she was on a cloud of grief, had to go to Wyoming. So I'm gonna let me put this in this different format so we can see. So this one is on October 26th, and this one is on October 26th.
Okay, so the one we're playing right here is from end of January. So last month.
This is when Charlie Kirk supposedly passed away, and this is January 28th, 2026. So she's describing what happened
referencing
back then.
this scene here.
Yeah, all right.
To breathe. Like, what am I doing wrong here that I have to go away and cry for a long time, and everyone else just kind of seemed giddy. That's the only way I can describe it, like giddy. That emotion shouldn't be possible. Shouldn't be possible, actually. Last year,
She looks pretty happy to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I look when I'm out fishing. She's
quite giddy.
I was in earnest, holding the internet back. Everyone was coming at Turning Point USA and all these allegations. And I was like, no, chill, just give them some time. Okay. I believe that people within that company betrayed Charlie. We don't know where it's going to end, but we are going to keep asking questions until we get clear answers.
Candace, it may be that the person in the media spewing bullshit to the public is you.
The wide eye at the end. She didn't expect it. So I know people are going to be upset, that this is pretty bad. Like even if you take it,
this isn't even bad. This is ridiculous. Like people actually, like, don't get me wrong. I watch because I think it's just ridiculous. I'm like, this is so fun. But I don't watch and think this is serious. Like do you think she's being serious here?
No, I think so. Here's what I think that there are shady things that she ran across.
Of course.
And it is absolutely driving a genuine, healthy level of skepticism.
Okay.
I absolutely believe that. Okay. The conclusion she's drawing, I don't necessarily agree with because it's dubious, but the fact that it seems to get contradicted within the span of 3 months tells me that she may not be the most reliable narrator out there, because if this was almost 7 minutes of contradictions about this one topic. So I would say that even if you like Candace Owens, right, she's not infallible. Obviously, no one's infallible, but maybe there should be some brake pressing before we start implicating people in crimes.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, people. I think Candace is full of shit. I'm just. But I understand where she's coming from. Like you get a lead and you're trying to follow out the lead. And I think she's trying to teach people on that process. Like, here's a lead, I'm going to follow it out. Let's see what kind of leads. And that's fine. But in doing that, you can't oversell it. You can't say they got, like, she's been overselling it to the point where now it comes off that she's lying. And then when she gets caught in that overselling,
she denies that she said it. But and I think that's the thing. It wouldn't be so bad for me if she said, this is what, based on the preponderance of evidence at the time, that's how I drew that conclusion.
This is what I like what I say about the election. If we go back to the election between Trump and Harris, if you're asking me based on what I knew at that time, or even all the other minorities, if everybody just based on what they knew at that time, would they vote for Harris or Trump? Those people voted for Trump because it was only based on the information. But if you had the information you have now, it's maybe a different story. It may be a different story.
Hindsight.
Yes, and that's what I think is the problem here, is that I think when Candace was saying these things, she knew that these things were kind of sketchy, and then to have to come back and eat the crow, and then let's not forget about the legal problem with this. Like, people, like somebody in the chat was saying she should sue. You know why Turning Point probably hasn't sued her yet? Because they said, let it all come out, build up the case.
Yeah.
Because when they go to court and they have the damnedest, here it is.
Here's you saying it again. Here's another month you're saying it. Here's another month you're saying it. You can't deny, it was a slip of the tongue. I misspoke. No, we have you dead to rights on several claims. Here's a timeline of all those claims. Here's you being asked about it on public television. Here's you making a documentary investigative series about it. You can't then deny it. Because
you straight up said they had Charlie killed. They were involved. This.
Yeah, so they're probably biding their time and building an excellent case against her. So, and probably, it's a barrier. Honestly, like if it hits hard enough, she's not going to be able to be in business.
Yeah. I just don't. I understand she's got a lot going on, but Candace is probably going to get sued to oblivion. If the Macrons are suing her, but if this NDA, which she says is in effect, she says is live, is in effect, and she's going on with the bride of Charlie and essentially saying that his wife, who is the personal lead, Turning Point USA, was involved in his assassination.
That's pretty disparaging. But she could have waited. Wasn't the thing about the disparity, because it had a time frame on it, right? Yeah, it expires. But I think, wasn't that expiration date just later this year?
Yeah, so it's December of this year, because it was 1 year after the contract ends.
Right.
So she's still within that disparagement agreement. So from what I understand.
Yeah, so she could have just
unless
waited.
That changed.
She could have waited. Honestly.
But the story dies though.
Yeah,
in a year, nobody's gonna be wanting to know.
That's true. But that's what I said. They need it. She needs an antagonist. She needs somebody to rah-rah against and to mobilize her base, because there's no story. There's nothing to really get people motivated, So I get it.
She's straight up contradicting herself in the same interview. 12 minutes later, I didn't say that. Well, no, you did say that. We got it on tape, but I did say it, but I didn't say it. But I really meant this. But it's crazy. I think we just leave Candace to her own devices. Hopefully, she'll figure it all out. Hopefully, she'll show the evidence. But right now, it just seems like it's bullshit. It just is. I'm sorry, people. I don't know what you want me to say.
Look, Candace, I'm here with you, okay? It wasn't Fort Huachuca. It was Fort Irwin, okay? I want you to drive out there, right? It's like 30 miles out of Barstow. I want you to drive out there and demand answers, okay? You do it. I'm here with you.
Now, last but not least, we'll turn to the Epstein files. Now, with the Epstein files, as we've always been saying, it's a massive cover-up, people.
Really?
I'm sorry. I know people always say Trump is an angel and he got nothing to do with it, and then Biden was an angel, he had nothing to do. Listen, they all are involved in some way. They just all are. Clintons, the Democrats, the Republicans, every single one of these politicians.
But come on,
I'm talking about at that level are involved in some way.
Trump's no stranger to these type of allegations. Now, involving the conspiracy and trafficking, no, but he is no stranger to allegations of a sexual nature. When it came to the porn star, when it came to the judging of the fashion show, and stuff like that. So this isn't necessarily new, but I think at some point when Trump was like, yeah, we're going to release him, someone showed him some documents and said, oh yeah, there was this one person who said this, and this, and Trump went, that looks bad. So let's back away from this and we'll just leave it alone. Maybe people will forget about it. People didn't.
Well, because they ran on releasing these files, and let's not forget, Bill Clinton is obviously in those files in a negative way. Right?
Hot tub.
Yeah, Bill Clinton is. So the argument was, if they were so damaging, why didn't they release them under Biden? And my response to that is because they're damaging for everybody.
Yeah,
it's a bomb that when you set it off, everybody
it's mad policy.
Yeah, it's mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
So Biden couldn't let that stuff out. Obama couldn't let Trump in his first term couldn't let this stuff out. Remember, Epstein was arrested under Trump. He was prosecuted under Trump. Trump got all that evidence. He was president.
Yeah.
Fast forward 4 years later, that evidence is still there. He is president again. He knows what's in those files. So I don't think we can make this argument that, he's just he's intimately involved. Now, if he's protecting people, if he's protecting other people, if he's protecting himself, who really knows? But I don't think any rational person would say there was not a massive cover-up that's going on at the Department of Justice.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
They're absolutely. Like there's so the recent thing that had come out, I think it was TMZ or somebody said that there's about 50 pages of the recent tranche, I think it's called. There's like 50 pages, I think, that
reference Trump,
directly referencing. And the reason they know that I was like, how do they know? That's like 18,000. How do you know?
Yeah.
So the FBI uses an internal filing system. So essentially, for those of you who are religious, a biblical concordance to help you, associate verses with different books in the Bible. The FBI has their own version of that, or like a internal Dewey Decimal System. And so there's different references to these files from the ones that were released. And so when people went to go, hey, where is page 36 subsection B dot whatever, they can't find it, but they see all these references to them. And then they go, wow, there's about 50 of them missing. So, and that's 50 so far. So why is it that they're missing if we're just releasing everything, right? So it's suspicious.
It is suspicious. And I'll say this. This is all based on politics, right? If you're a Trump supporter, he's an angel. He's got nothing to do with this. It's all Biden. If you're a Biden supporter, Democrats, it's all Trump's evil. So, it's just, but what are the facts on the ground? I think the facts on the ground say this is clearly a cover-up of massive proportions.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
When you got the Crown Prince, he's going to jail. The ambassador he's going to jail. There's a lot of there. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying as of right now, I got any definitive proof that Trump did anything wrong in the Epstein files. I just don't have
no.
I don't have any proof that Bill Clinton did anything wrong in the Epstein files.
Well, so if they can get a prince, not Bill Clinton.
But I'm just saying I don't have any evidence because the files say crazy shit, but it don't say that they did this with this particular thing. There are things there. Now there are allegations against Trump that were unverified in the files, but again, if they're unverified, then it's like they don't exist to me.
Right.
So I just want to make it very clear. But there is a massive cover-up, and we know there's a massive cover-up. So right now we're going to listen to Thomas Massie because he has come out and he did this particular video just to air his point of frustration on what's going on.
Recognizes the gentleman from Kentucky, Mr. Massie, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Congress created the Department of Justice. Congress funds the Department of Justice, and Congress is responsible for the oversight of the Department of Justice. When will we see justice? I'll tell you what I've not seen. I've not seen any arrests from the revelations in the Epstein files, over 3 million documents describing horrible things, describing unspeakable things. So much of it redacted. Over 24 people have resigned, CEOs, members of government worldwide. But I haven't seen any arrests or investigations here in the United States from this Department of Justice. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, who has since been stripped of his royal titles due to his affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested. Peter Mandelson, who previously served as UK's ambassador to the United States, resigned in disgrace from United Kingdom's House of Lords and the Labour Party. and he's been arrested. Former Prime Minister of Norway, Torbjorn Jagland, has been charged. But we don't see any charges, arrests, or investigations in the United States. What do we see? We see our FBI director celebrating in the locker room at the Olympics overseas. It's fine to be proud of this country, but we should be proud of this country because we have a system of justice that works. And yet we do not. Who are the men that should be investigated? I'll name them right here. Leon Black. You don't even have to see past the redactions to see that this man needs to be investigated.
He's naming names.
Leon of color. Okay, who is this guy?
Jess Staley, accused of terrible things. It's right there in the files. Why is he not being investigated? And Leslie Wexner. Why did the FBI list him as a co-conspirator in their own documents in a child sex trafficking case, and then tell him, according to him, that they had no questions for him? Why is that? Well, the Epstein Files Transparency Act requires the DOJ and the FBI to disclose to us their internal memos and emails about how they made those decisions, whether to prosecute or not prosecute. Yet they have not delivered those memos. And we still don't have the memos and documents and emails from 2008 to explain why Jeffrey Epstein was given such a light sentence in what would have been an open and shut case of child sex trafficking, which allowed him to go back and recommit these terrible crimes, create hundreds of more victims, and ensnare so many other people in his conspiracy. Where are those documents that describe those decisions? We need justice. We want the Department of Justice to get to work, and that's what they need to do now.
Ooh, man. Okay. So he's blowing the whistle pretty loud.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, ain't nothing coming out these Epstein files.
Oh, no, not at all.
I don't think anything's coming out. While Trump is president, I still think anything's coming out. He's already said that there's some damaging stuff in there for him, so he's not.
Yeah, I still maintain. I think that we know Epstein was a blackmailer. That's the one thing he was excellent. That even the reference the guy made to the sweetheart deal he got in Florida. That's because he was blackmailing the judges and the police officers and investigating him. Like this guy was good at that. That's what he did. I think he got Trump caught up and said, hey, I got some, just like with Bill Gates, hey, I got some beautiful girls, come on over, have a good time. Don't worry about anything, yada, yada. Hey, Bill Clinton's over here too. They're in the hot tub. And so, Trump probably came over, had himself a good old time. And then Epstein goes, oh, by the way, she's 15, so, and like, who wants that? Because you can't undo that. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
even if you were to say, yeah, he tricked me, you still would be guilty of that. So I don't. It's a no-win. And so the best thing somebody could do in that situation is bury it. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But and again, I don't want to make it because I don't know if he did anything.
Yeah, there's no proof of that. But
it's unless we're playing dumb here, right? Most people don't just cover this stuff up if there's nothing implicating them or something like that. There's something there. The amount of it, I think, I don't want to be like Candace Owens. It's like, there's a definite shot, right?
He was there. Yeah. He had the manifest.
I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is there's a lot of smoke. And where there's smoke, sometimes there's fire. I'm not sure there's a fire here, but damn sure there's a lot of smoke.
There's some cinders.
Now, here's some other people who've now, unfortunately, been outed in the Epstein file. Now, you ever heard of Hawking's radiation? Stephen Hawking, pictured in Epstein files, lounging between two bikini-clad women. And here is the picture. Stephen Hawking. This guy, Hawking's radiation, one of the greatest physicists of our time. There he is. They were holding the drink for him. Right? He's on Epstein's island, living it up.
Wow. I thought this was AI first. Someone shared a while back. I said this has to be AI.
Here he is with the he's living it up.
Oh man! Oh, they're going to scuba diving and everything.
Yeah.
Oh man!
This is Hawking radiation. Stephen Hawking. So confirm. Now, did he do anything wrong? Or these women above? I don't know. I'm not, he probably wasn't doing. I just don't know.
I don't think physically he could do anything.
Yeah, I'm not.
If something happened of a sexual nature, they were doing it to him. Right? He has the best excuse out of anybody on that island. I can't move. So, you can say what you want, but,
Now, another story that we followed maybe a couple of weeks ago was the Bill Gates. Bill Gates admits that he had two affairs with Russian women, apologizing to staff over Epstein files. Now, remember, a couple of weeks ago, it had come out that he had got,
that he was trying to get antibiotics.
Yeah, because he had got
an STD or something from
a Russian hooker that Epstein hooked him up with. And, he had denied all that. He said, no, this is all BS. He was trying to blackmail me.
Well, but we know he had affairs because his wife confirmed
that they had affairs.
Yeah, so
but she didn't confirm the extent of it or what it was. But now he admits, he had two affairs with two Russian women and apologized to staff over Jeffrey Epstein ties. So, the more and more of this stuff is coming out, it seems the more it's not pulling back off these rich and powerful men. It's putting them deeper into it, right? Now we got pictures of him hugging up on two young women, and we got pictures of him with Epstein. This is not looking good for Bill Gates and the rest of these people, right? It's just not looking good.
Yeah, and I think
and all these could be totally innocent pictures, but it's just the optics. Yeah, and now before he said nothing happened, now all of a sudden, well, I did have sex with two Russian. None of this is looking good. None of this is looking good. So I think at the end of the day, just to be ultimately fair, because I want to say this, there is a part of me that says it's possible that Trump and Biden and the rest of them are not implicated, but so many rich and powerful people are implicated.
Princes.
That that you're talking about maybe destroying the economy or something like that. There may be some other greater, or these could all be assets for intelligence.
Yeah,
and you want to continue to keep those intelligence lines open so you can still apply that pressure. Because if it all comes out, right? If it all comes out,
you lose your leverage.
Yeah,
so that way. So
because the leverage isn't coming out. So now by keeping all these private, then that keeps that leverage. Like if the U.S. government has this stuff on Bill Gates, that's great leverage, right? We'll put this out. Next Microsoft, we get a back door, or whoever they have, right? Not saying that they're doing that, but this is great leverage. The CIA, you don't think the CIA or Mossad is not going to play dirty with this stuff?
It's a great, if you are in the intelligence community, I'm sure this is a treasure trove. This is great.
yeah. So it may not be the fact. So the cover up, I think there is a cover up, but there could be other reasons for the cover up that's just as good as, hey, I'm guilty, but but I want to keep this other. Yeah. I think another one is, hey, we got all this intelligence on all these billionaires that run these multi-trillion-dollar worth of dollars. And we got us leverage.
Yeah, so let's just
let's keep their names out of it, because at any point we can say, guess what?
Pull his card.
Yes. We can put this email out and it tells the whole story, or we keep this email back and we play around with it a little bit.
So does the United States government wheel and deal with nefarious characters of unscrupulous behavior?
Of course.
Yeah. Historically, yes.
Yeah.
We'll continue to.
But I think people are trying to overlook that fact that this is that this could be a possibility. That because I think it's very clear Epstein was an intelligence asset for a lot of people.
Oh God, yeah.
And he had a lot of people look at all the people he had on the island. These are the movers and shakers, the commerce secretary. He's hanging out with former presidents. He's at the top of the list. And, they're having these parties that are,
hey, no harm, no foul. What happens on the island supposedly stays on the island, Vegas rules. So.
And you got all of every room is got pictures in it. Every room,
all this type of
everything
stuff.
is being recorded.
Baby oil. And I'm sorry, that's Diddy.
But even in that situation, but what I'm saying is that it would be obtuse for us to not believe that there's an incredible amount of intelligence information that's there that can compromise a lot of these targets. And these are the people who, I would want Bill Gates to be in my pocket.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I would want any of these people to be in my pocket with this black man.
He's a proxy to all these assets, or potential proxy, I'll say that. So I think there's definitely a lot of potential there, unfortunately. And I know, this does not excuse anything that occurred on the island of an unscrupulous nature, obviously, but I know a lot of people like, well, just release everything and we'll just the court of public opinion. And it's like that. It's not that simple, right? It's really not. And so once you start getting into these upper echelons where things are happening beyond the scope of the public eye, you then have to kind of go, okay, hey, we want to be transparent, but not too transparent, you know? So I think that's something that a lot of us have to take into account because we ain't never going to see everything.
Before we get out of here, recapping today's show, Rashad is a fraud. Candace is crazy. I think she's on that. Well, Candace has to show her work. She seems crazy, but she's got to show her work because now it's time to put up. So shut up. It's that she's meant to.
She's just telling facts.
Epstein is a cover up. And I don't know. I believe it is. No, Epstein is a cover up. I do know that. It's what I don't know is why. So that's a little, Epstein is a cover up, but I just don't know why. And is that about right? And let's not forget about the State of the Union. You know, everybody's cheering about that. The State of the Union. But it's pretty good. But Candace, I think she right now, if all you giving me is what we got now, she's crazy. She's crazy. But
just on the surface.
But I'm saying, show your work. Because she can easily turn me around by saying, here's why I had to do it. And again, every time she's been put in the corner, did you say this? She's walking it back. So,
but she's denying that she even said it. It's one thing to walk something back and say, hey, here's what I had based on evidence, you know, and that's why I drew the conclusion. You know what? That's forgivable. Saying that you didn't even make the claim when it's recorded and people watched it and in real time, that makes me question your mental state. That right there makes me really question because people can be wrong. But when you're denying that you said something that was public, then I go, okay, what's really going on under the hood here?
And just the caveat for today's show before we get out of here. All those clips and stuff may have been taken out. Like the full context of those clips are at 2-3 hours. So those clips were actually taken from somewhere. Maybe if you guys want to see the full context, you can definitely see her show, see those things online.
Yeah.
But I think as of right now, and it's just not me, from Tatum to Temple to Quartering to all the right wingers, even Ben Shapiro, they're all saying that Alex Jones, Ben Shapiro, like left, all of them are saying that she has some issues. So, you know, hopefully she'll be able to pull out. But I want to see it because I didn't know it was just that easy. I didn't say it, even though I said it and people would just believe it.
It's hard to defend that.
Yeah.
It really is.
So with that being said, don't forget, subscribe to the Commentary King. My name is Nate, and we are going to see you next week, Wednesday, at 12 Eastern. So thank you for stopping by and
see ya.
Peace.